Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, president of Emery Thompson Machine.
I'm Christy Brown, vice president of sales and marketing.
Hold on, please. Can we please get security in here? There's a strange man on this set wearing a suit jacket and long pants. Please have him removed immediately.
There's a reason for it. Well, speaking of which, I went to a great doctor this morning, just a wellness visit, and he has this thing he calls the lipstick theory of medicine, which I think is really unique. We can talk about any subject, but I like this one. He says the lipstick theory of medicine can apply to men too, because obviously that's why I'm wearing this. The lipstick theory of medicine is if you walk into a doctor's office and you've not cleaned yourself up, your hair isn't washed, you haven't shaved, you're dressed kind of like you just came from doing something else, you probably don't have a lot of determination to get well.
Is that a shot at me?
No, it's not a shot at you. Everything's not about you. So the lipstick theory of medicine is if you get dressed up for a doctor's appointment, you really have an intent to get well or to stay well. And I thought that was just an interesting concept. But that's just me.
I show up like this.
Which is just fine. You're perfectly fine. So you go first.
You always go first. We go through this every time.
I think I just went first.
Okay,
so
all right.
Go ahead.
How do you make eggnog ice cream with real eggnog? Once again, you guys know that's my favorite thing to do is you ask me these questions, and I don't know. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to find out. It'll probably be, I'm very busy, so I'll try to do my best and get back to you as soon as possible. But I'm going to assume because the eggnog is very thick, you're going to have to mix it with some of your normal dairy mix or even just using some skim milk or whole milk. I don't know yet. I think the best way it's going to come out is using eggnog and then some dairy mix and then add a little bit of more nutmeg in there. And I think you have a winner, but I'll come up with a formula and I'll let you know.
I'm looking forward to trying it.
I don't like eggnog, but...
Now, if we haven't told you, we don't rehearse this, so I don't know what Christy's going to say, and she certainly doesn't know what I'm going to say, which makes it very lively. So I'm going to hand that to you, and I think I'm going to have you turn to page 18 or 19, because Christmas is coming, the holidays are coming, and they're very soon. So I thought I would tell you about my candy cane ice cream, which just happens to be in Christy's book, which is named Making It Sweet Since 1905. So this recipe's in there. Ken, would you please put up this recipe so that the folks watching this can see it? Great. You can see on the recipe it says 24 candy canes. Use the red and white ones only. If you get the ones that are red and green, it gives it a real muddy look. It looks awful. 4 quarts of the dairy blend, and I use 2 ounces of vanilla to enhance the flavor, but you can put in whatever type you like. One great secret to this is candy canes are sticky, so take your 24 candy canes and freeze them in the freezer first. And then when you pull them out of the freezer and they're frozen solid, it's much easier to unwrap them, which is a real pain in the neck when you're dealing with 24 of them. And then you put them into your Ninja blender and you grind them into a powder. It's this real nice pink powder, which we're going to pour into the machine with the other ingredients. And we'll have this pale pink ice cream that is just super intense on the flavor of candy cane. The reason Christy in her book and I do the same thing, like to grind up those candies, because you're going to have children of all ages eating it, as well as small babies sometimes. And I don't want a small baby getting a little shard of a candy cane. They're very sharp. This way, by grinding it up, I have all the flavor, I've got the nice color, I don't have to worry about the risk of scratching someone's throat. But it's getting in the holiday season, so give it a try.
And I like using the candy canes more than an extract of a peppermint. The taste is way different. You wouldn't think it is, but there is a difference. I do prefer the candy canes over the extract.
Oh, it's addictive.
Yeah.
So if at 10:30 at night, if you're like me, you go out to take 1 spoonful of ice cream, watch out. Yeah, there's going to be a whole pint gone by the morning.
My next one is when should I use a syrup over an extract? Ironically, I actually happened to open up on the lavender chocolate chip ice cream that Steve makes. That's a very good flavor. So the difference between a syrup and an extract is this is lavender syrup and this is just the lavender extract. syrups contain sugar. So when you're needing to have your recipe like a sorbet or an Italian ice, or if you are wanting to do like a lavender ice cream, this is when you want to use a syrup because you're boosting the sweetness of it, and it's, you know, pulling in and tying all your flavors great. When you are going to make a mint chip, an example, that is a good time to use an extract. Or if you're making a vanilla ice cream, you want to use a vanilla extract, not a vanilla syrup. That is when you're going to make that flavor pronounce. You want it to come out through everything else. So that's the difference between the two.
All right. Here's a question that gets me in trouble all the time, very many times. The customer writes from Toronto and says, I've seen a bunch of your videos and I'm looking into buying a machine. I've taken Jeff's Mystic online boot camp. That's good. I was wondering if there's any shops in Toronto area that are currently using machines that I could go see. Yes, there are. There's a lot of them. In fact, in the 141 countries that we're in, Canada is our second largest market after the United States. So there's a lot of machines in Canada. However, to answer your question, no, I'm not going to give you a list of people to go see. I'm probably the only person in the industry who feels this way, but hear me out. You're going to go, if I gave you a list of customers in Toronto or anywhere else that you might be, you're going to go in there and say, hi, I'm going to open up an ice cream parlor down the street from you, and I'd like to know all your trade secrets. You're not exactly going to say it that way, but I understand you use Emery Thompson. Tell me all about it. Oh, by the way, where do you get your dairy blend from? This flavor is terrific. Whose flavor do you use? It's your private business. It's your store. It's all your hard labor. We may have helped you with a lot of information, but it's all stuff that you've done, and I don't think it's fair to be sending my potential customers in to see you. I know everybody else in the industry will certainly do it, but I won't. I just think it's unscrupulous, and that's a $10 word, and I just don't feel it's proper. Yes, you will hear me say big names like I put Haagen-Dazs into business. My father did Ben & Jerry's. My grandfather did Breyers and Bluebell and Hershey. Yeah, we'll give you the big names that are nationwide, but if it's in your street and on your block, I don't think that's fair to do. So I'm sorry, but you'll have to go do the research in that aspect on your own.
I agree. I really do agree with that for everything he just said. What parts on the CB350 are dishwasher safe? All of the parts that are removable. That doesn't mean your side panels. I mean, you probably could, but I don't see why you would want to do that. Don't do that. But you could put your dasher, your scraper blade springs, your blades, your front dasher bushing, all the parts that do come off the door, like the guard and the chute and the gate handle and the springs. All of those are dishwasher safe. You could put the door in there too. I would take the O-rings off because of the heat cycle. If you don't have a heat cycle, then it'll be okay, but you should probably take them off anyways, just because of the groove that it has in there for sanitary reasons in case some ice cream gets into the back of it. You never know. You want to keep that always very clean, but heat is not a good friend to anything that is a rubber or silicone or anything of that nature. So keep that out of at least the heat cycle. But other than that, everything on that CB350 and as well as the CB200, as you all know, I have that at home, and that's the first thing I do is I dump it all in the dishwasher, start it, and done.
Clean, simple, and indestructible.
It is. That's it for me.
May I borrow your book?
Yes.
One last thing. These make great Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and Festivus presents. This is Christy's book. You can reach Christy at emerythompson.com or call her at 718-588-7300. And if you're ever curious why I'm wearing a Secret Service pin that was given to me 22 years ago, write me and I'll tell you the story. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.